The surge has kicked in, but is it working? The end-of-the-month figures are being pored over by both the supporters and opponents of the strategy for clues as to whether it's having the desired effect. In the last year, the number of US military deaths in Iraq has fluctuated from month to month, reaching a peak in May at 126. This month, according to CNN's count, it's 73 and may rise. That's the lowest monthly count this year, but still much more than in July last year when 43 were killed. Some say the fall in the US military deaths is the result of deals cut with Sunni militia and tribal leaders. Once insurgents, these men used to be considered part of the problem. Now they're seen by US military commanders as part of the solution.
We have Sunnis and some groups reaching out to us to reconcile.
Reconcile or grab some power. The groups now being courted by the US were until recently part of the enemy.
They certainly have cut some political deals at the very least with the militias, which again is something that they've said they wouldn't do and have ultimately ended up doing, and I'm not quite sure about the wiseness of the strategy. It's a bit of robbing Peter to pay Paul in terms of what you're trying to achieve.
And bringing Sunni militias on side has come with a political price. It's infuriating the Shiite-dominated government, which sees the move as a betrayal. US commanders say it's not.
We are not providing arms to anybody. But what we are doing is we are having groups come to us that say we want to fight Al-Qaeda and we want to become part of the apparatus of the government of Iraq security forces.
It's clear the number of attacks has dropped and the number of US casualties has fallen, but the situation here is still bleak. Every day US soldiers are dying, the green zone is being regularly mortared, and outside these walls, parts of the city are still lawless and hostile.
Yeah, you can see it from here.
What senior commanders are hoping is that the reduction in US casualties is the beginning of a trend, not simply a one-off dip. A trend that, if it continues, will allow them to bring peace to the Iraqi people and to hand more responsibility to the Iraqi forces. But if things go wrong, critics say the US will simply have bolstered another armed faction in Iraq to counterbalance Iranian-controlled militia, a recipe for civil war. Dan Rivers, CNN, Baghdad.